I wanted to put together a quick video on how I'm using GutenBricks. There's a lot of videos out there already about GutenBricks, and so I'm not going to go in depth on what it is and how you could potentially use it. I'm just going to do a quick demonstration of how I've used it. So GutenBricks.com is where you get all the information. Lots of videos here already. My interface looks like this. Once I've done the installation, I've assigned the license, all those things. So I have created bundles. I've created a blocks bundle and a components bundle. My default is the blocks bundle. And in the client experience, the one change that I made was to go into the MetaBox settings and change it to blocks settings, because most users who would come in here wouldn't know what MetaBox is. So it just makes more sense to me. In my instance, I'm going to use WPDataTables as my challenge, if you will. And so I created 4 tables that use a SQL query that just pull the posts based on the post type. And then I created a MetaBox chooser field so that I just have a which table do you want. I set a 0 as the default, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And then I have my post list, page list, snippets, and resources with these IDs, which match the IDs of the individual tables, which are the IDs in the shortcode. You have to use the shortcode inside of Bricks Builder because there's no direct integration yet. And then in the Bricks Builder, I created a section with a container that has my shortcode, and then I added a MetaBox field in here, a text area field. And then I went ahead and added a rich text field just to show how it works inside of the editor. And then you come in here and create a test post. We'll add some Ipsum text to start off with just to give it some space. And then we'll go in and we will add our table block. Now, the reason I use 0 as the default is so that when you pick a list, you'll actually see the change. This is important because the table doesn't render, but at least you know the table title shows up, so you have a pretty good idea that it's working. This is that text area field, so I can come in here and put my own Ipsum text in here as well. You'll notice that it doesn't lay out the same, but that's because the styles from WordPress core don't apply into the text area. But I can take this text out, and then in this field I have over here, I can drop in that text, and then it will show up as my description of my data table. And then I can actually come in here and make this a heading. And on the front end, you will get this nice layout. And what you'll notice when it comes, all of the paragraph text gets formatted correctly. So here's all that. Here's the heading, and here's the paragraph text that was there. As you can tell, it gets rendered the correct way. And so here's my post list, and the pagination works. I can come back in here and say, oh, in this post, I actually want to have my resource list. It refreshes resource list. I go back to the front end. And now I have my resource list. And all of the functionality of WPDataTables is there, as well as all the rendering. Plus, this is my single post layout. So the single post layout has a table of contents if there are headings. And so I have a heading for the resource list, and then I made that first sentence a heading. So now here is headings, and then it just jumps to the individual heading.